Hello, my name is Will, and I'm working with David Reese to teach you about packets. So what is a packet? Why do we use them? The first thing we should learn about packets is the definition of a packet. A packet is a formatted unit of data carried by a packet switching network. Right now that might not make much sense, so to better help understand network packets, let's discuss postal mail packets, or mail. There are four basic steps for a user to send mail. Step 1 is writing the letter. We usually put all our personal information inside the letter and fold it up, fitting everything inside a smaller envelope and making it harder for the outside world to peek into. Let's send a letter to our cousin Craig. Dear Craig, I hope we hid it well enough. People are going to start asking questions, digging around for answers. We should lay low for a little while until this blows over. Love, Will. Step 2 is to pack it inside the envelope. Finding the right size envelope is key so it costs the least to send it. Step 3 is addressing the envelope. A properly addressed letter has a return address and a recipient address. For example, Cousin Craig's address would be the recipient address, and my address will be the return address and used to send the letter back to me if the recipient's address is incorrect, or if the person no longer lives at that address. Step 4 is to stamp it and drop it off at a post office. My job is done and the letter is on its way to Cousin Craig. Now it's time for the postal network to take over. The post office then sends my mail to a processing plant where it reads all the information and creates a barcode for computers to scan it easier. A route is planned and the mail is delivered to the next destination. Hopefully Craig's post office is next, so it'll be there as soon as possible. Mail usually doesn't go straight from the distribution center to the recipient's post office. More than likely, it's going to take a few more hops than that. If you're sending mail all the way across the United States, there's going to be more stops in between. So if I'm in New York and I try sending mail to California, it would make no sense for my post office to send it to a processing plant in New York and then have a truck drive it all the way out to California. That just wouldn't work. So what the post office does, it'll send it to a bunch of different processing plants to make a path all the way across the United States. Once it gets to Craig's post office, they sort it out and deliver it to Craig's mailbox. Although it probably wasn't intentional, the internet is very closely related to the postal network. Much like the postal system, packets are delivered with similar protocols that the postal network has. Now I'm going to leave it to David to explain what a packet's life is like on the internet.
And like mail, packets have a similar transport method. And to start off with, senders send packets to their local router, and from their local router, that sends the packet to usually an internet service provider's autonomous system. And from the autonomous system, or we'll say AS for now, the packet gets delivered to the recipient's AS, and then it goes to the recipient's local router, and then from the recipient's local router, it gets delivered to the recipient's machine. So that's vastly similar to the way mails get sent, as it goes through the processing plant, different kinds of post offices, which are like routers, and then it finally gets to the recipient. And the main goal is, why do we use packets? Well, A is packet switching. Packet switching is used to create a more shareable network for everyone. And packet switching is when you send something and it gets broken down in these little packets, which vary in size, and they are sent independently to a destination. Now, there's different kinds of internet protocols that use these packet switching methods, and some of them are unreliable, some of them are reliable, but it really depends on your internet service provider. Now we're going to review packets. Packets are just bits of information that have different protocols, data, sources, destination, and they're used to transport messages, pictures of cats, and just a whole bunch of stuff like that. And why packets? They're much easier to send. If you try sending a large bit of information over to someone's computer, it'll take a while to get there. So if you break that down and send these bits by bit, like in this diagram right here, it makes it much easier because you can send multiple bits at the same time and it'll get there all together. Yes, there's flaws in this, like packets will get sent otherwhere, but throughout the time we have figured out different protocols which negate that, or if they don't negate it, they make it very slim. And the end.